Hi, Dan here, hope you're doing well. This came from a question. Someone asked me, I'm really struggling with just being a creative player. And that got me thinking. And really, the way to become a creative bass player is to steal the best ideas from the greatest music from the best bass players out there. And really, that's all this lesson's about, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to start off by breaking down what I was playing in the intro and some of the thought processes behind what I was doing. So that was a little basic groove, and I did come up with that. I spent like 5 minutes before hitting record on the camera just to come up with something. And so what I needed a key. A key is the notes that you're playing, the scale. So in this case, I'm in A minor, A natural minor. There's so much information that comes from that very simple statement, right? So A natural minor is just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. You can get a triad from that by just playing the first, third, and fifth. So that's A, C, and E on the first note, the A. That's an A minor triad. Add a seventh in. A minor 7. We're just skipping over a note every time. 1, 3, 5, 7. Let's do 9. These are chord tones, and even just those notes with some sort of a good rhythm applied to it, and I'm always tapping my foot like this and subdividing the beats, so 1 and 2, and those are eighth notes, and double that, 16th. So you're just taking those notes. You can come up with a good bass line, a little slide there. So you have to be very aware of what notes work, so that comes from the key. This is what I was doing. There's a couple of things there. There is an awareness of where those notes are in A natural minor, but not just in this one position here. I'm going all the way up to here, and that allows me, really I'm doing that because I can just get to a different position and do hammer-ons and pull-offs. These are articulations. So like I said before, I'm giving you the thought processes behind this, but really there is not much thought going on once you learn the elements, the scale, the different positions, the hammer-ons, the pull-offs. These are things that you can be practicing every day. You can get a scale. And just make it musical. Play it up and down. Do some rhythms. There at the end, pull off. How I love to use those, okay? You might not want that in your playing. Just go where you want with this, but I don't see why you wouldn't. They sound really good. But do you hear how that just brings something that is a bit cold and a bit boring on the surface, like a scale, and it proves to you that it's what music is made from. So here we go. I'm going a little shift, and this is technique as well. You've got to have that down from the B to the C. And then I'm doing the same B to C in reverse up the octave. So there was a hammer on. Pluck, hammer a finger down. And then up here, it's C to B this time with a pull off. I just love the way that sounds. And notice there at the end, I didn't realize I did that until then. It's actually doing the pull off from the little finger to the first finger, which allows my second finger to fourth finger, hammer on to play from the 10th to the 12th fret of the A string. Like, I'm not thinking this when I'm playing, but that's what I was doing. Let's take a little pause there. Okay, so if you're thinking, how do I get all this stuff down? We've talked about a scale and we've talked about techniques and rhythms. Okay, those are the three things we've talked about. So first things first is to play the scale in different registers. That's one octave. Perhaps put your first finger on that last note and start again. And maybe go from there where you end up all the way down in this particular position. You need to know your scales in different places. Make sure you know the names of the notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then you can play them as you go. There's an A here, it's the same pattern as the one on the 5th fret. That's an A minor pentatonic scale. That's something you definitely want to learn as a bass player. It's pretty easy and it just sounds really good. Okay, I'm just going to carry on to where I was going afterwards. Now I know harmony, this is the next step you need to learn, and that's that you have a scale, you can make a chord from it. That was where we took our triad notes, A, C, E, first, third, fifth. A chord is where you play the notes together at the same time. So as bass players we probably wouldn't really do that, like I did here. You can, sounds quite nice. And in this key, if you build a chord on the first note, the fourth note, or the fifth note, they're all minor. They're all exactly the same quality. I love practicing that particular chord progression. That's what it is, a chord progression. Because of that fact, I can use the same shapes over each one. So let's go back to a basic triad. Frets 5, 8 on the E string and 7 on the A string. That's your first, flat third, and fifth. Go to the 10th fret, which is D, do the same pattern. Shift up to the 12th fret, that's the E, same pattern. So A minor, C minor, sorry, A minor, D minor, E minor, a 1, 4, 5 chord progression. How about that for a little bit of creativity? You can create bass lines around that. I did something like that, and all I was doing there was just expanding beyond 3 simple notes of a triad, just to, you know, to build up a bit. I know that on this E here, or actually any of those roots, that's our minor pentatonic, this time starting on E. Every single one of those notes, that shape sounds good. I call upon it a lot. I think I transcribed actually Jimi Hendrix years and years ago. That's how I learned that that works over minor chords. And this is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm alluding to. Everything I'm teaching you in this lesson is something that I've picked up by listening to a great player, having that connection between here's like a minor chord, here's a minor pentatonic scale going, and that's how I learned this, okay? And that's how I'm suggesting you should do this as well. So, you know, it's a Hendrixy type thing. That's what he did. A minor pentatonic over a minor chord works brilliantly. Okay, I'm just going to demonstrate now exactly what I mean by analysing a bass line and just drawing on it for your own creativity. This is a really, really, really important thing for you to do. And even if you're not very good at it, you don't know anything about theory, maybe you've just started the bass, I really urge you to just do this as much as you can and you'll get better. So this is just one thing I was looking at last night, Stick It Out by Rush. And I can't remember what key it's in, that's not the point. I'll play it here and just break it down a little bit. So it goes like this. Okay, so it's not in A, I know that, but let's just pretend it is. So, and I'm going, okay, there's a lot of A's going on. Okay, that's the first 3 notes of a natural minor scale. Make sure you know at least a major scale, natural minor scale, because a lot is built upon that. Then we got an F sharp. That's not a natural minor. Okay, now I happen to know this, that is very strongly telling us that this is a Dorian mode, okay? Which the classic Dorian mode bass line, again, not in this key, is this. Very funky, very cool sounding. So it's a rock riff. It's using very simple notes. A, another A, going up the scale. And it's the addition of that F sharp that Geddy Lee puts in that really creates the sound. That's what it makes. It makes it sound amazing because of that note, because of its use of this Dorian. Okay, that's what I'm getting from that. I'm getting from that you can really create a very, very cool Dorian riff. So I'm just going to randomly move to B. Okay, so I'm just being creative based on Geddy Lee's idea of using a Dorian mode. Stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you exactly what I think you should be practicing in order to make this a lot easier. But let me go into another one. Look. Sir Duke. Okay, so all of that is pentatonic. Major pentatonic. So when I first learned that, this sort of playing, I mean, I guess you could say for me it came exclusively from learning that song and realizing that the major pentatonic scale sounds incredibly melodic and fun, and I just love the sound of it. Another Stevie song, Do I Do, in the same key. There goes. Major pentatonic again. Really, you just need to listen to those two songs to make the connection that that is a scale that's got this particular vibe, very happy, very bright, pretty simple sounding, but a great set of notes for you to be creative with. So make sure you learn the pentatonic scales, and then what Stevie's doing. Slide. You know, sliding around and articulations yet again. It's all about working out ways of making these scales and arpeggios and triads sound good. That's going to be your rhythm, that's going to be the way you play, your technique, and it's going to be how you inject your kind of attitude and feel into it. Very quickly, one last example. What's going on? E major this time. We've got the one chord, the E, and that's a root to the 5 to the major 6. Very simple, just root 5, major 6. And the C sharp minor is the 6th chord. This is what I was alluding to before with your harmony. You have chords that are built on every note of a scale. The 1 is in a major key like this, is major, then the 6 is minor. So if you know the notes that fit around that, you can be creative. Let's make something up a little bit in the style. Okay, so all I was doing there was just very similar. I know the notes that fit. Then when I went to the C sharp, at the beginning of the lesson, the groove I came up with, I said minor pentatonic over minor chord, but that's what I'm doing here. You need to know the notes that work, and you need to have the technical ability to bring those notes to life. Technique, notes, those are the things you need to practice. I fully believe that you can learn something from any style, any bass player. You know, this is why I recommend, learn as many different styles as you can. And you're going to see the same elements. Let's go through them to end the lesson, okay? So you need to know a major scale. You need to know that that major scale is related, meaning it has the same notes as a natural minor scale. Okay, so major scale, natural minor scale, pentatonics of both of those. Okay, then you need to expand that into different parts of the bass. So I'm rushing through this, but if the first thing takes you 1 week, that's fine. Move on when you're ready, okay? That's just a few different patterns of the same scale, so you need to expand it across the neck. What I was doing with the scale, and I want you to do this immediately, is to make music from it. So I was doing slides, hammer-ons, vibrato, things like that. Now, like I said, don't run before you can walk. Make sure that you're holding the bass well, that your technique is very basic finger style, if that's what how you're playing it, is good, and there are no pains or anything like that. Move on to the next part of the puzzle when you're ready. Make sure you've got some sort of a rhythm study in your practice. So whether you're playing with a metronome or a drum loop, and you're very aware of quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes. So you could just take that A major pentatonic, which I was playing, to F sharp minor pentatonic. You can't hear a beat going on, you can't hear a drum beat or a metronome in the background, but hopefully you can hear the beats. I was trying to mark out where the beats are there. That's something you could do to practice your creativity. I'm just going from an A to an F sharp minor in that little example there. Afterwards, just to notch things up a level, you need to know the harmony of a major scale. So that would be just to know the order of chords. So it goes major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then diminished. That's the sequence of triads in a major key. It doesn't change. That's how it works. And then you can put seventh chords over that, like A major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, D major 7, E7 dominant 7, F sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7 flat 5, A major 7. It's just pretty a hard and fast thing that happens here. That's the harmony of a major scale. Learn that. Then, and again, this might be some time away in the future, you would learn the modes that come from a major scale. I won't go into it too much. Needless to say, it's just this. You've got like an A major scale. If I play that same scale, but I start on B, I have a mode. That's your Dorian mode. And loads, it goes to there, loads and loads of music goes beyond the simple major natural minor thing. That's where modes come in. Then you've got melodic minor, you've got harmonic minor. That's where you go into the realms of jazz, world music, flamenco, things like that. So it's clear to see that there's a lot to learn, but start simple, learn a major scale and just learn to make some music around it. The main point of this lesson is just immediately to listen to your favorite bass lines and try to link what's going on in the bass line to some sort of a theory thing or a technique thing. There's a hammer on there. Oh, that sounds good. I can be creative with hammer-ons. It's hard to explain because really you have to do the work. I can't do that for you. You have to just do it. And when you do that, you will hear a lot of the same harmonies going on. The minor pentatonic scales happening a lot. That's how you be creative. You focus on the things that are going to make you better, not just aimlessly playing a scale up and down and hoping that that's going to magically make you creative. It isn't. It's learning from the best bass players. That's how it's going to work for you. I'll do loads more lessons on this because it's quite difficult to explain it in a video. I think lots of examples are required. I have got loads on my channel, so do check that out. Specific bass lines where I'll break it down and show you this is that mode, this little technique there. So, my channel's definitely going to help you. So do subscribe, do check out a lot of that. And if there are any questions springing from this video, let me know and I'll do a follow-up. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.